When I came to Rochester, my parents brought me up on a Saturday. To me, it was just like going to New York City with all the big lights and all the big buildings after coming from the country. And we went to see a movie to make the time go a little faster. But I do not remember what the movie was about. All I kept thinking was, I'm here to stay, I'm here to stay, I'm here to stay. And after the movie was over, we went to the place where I was to stay, met the people that lived there. My parents said goodbye, kissed me, and left to go home. I was so homesick the next day when I got up into the morning at this home that I was staying in. They had two girls. One was 12 and one was 6. And when I got up in the morning and they were downstairs and they were throwing shoes at each other and having a little sister fight, I couldn't imagine what I had gotten into. After lunch, I said, I want to just go out for a walk to get familiar a little bit with the surroundings of where I was living. And the two girls were out on their bikes riding, and so they wanted to walk with me. So we went to what they called Wide Waters at the time. It was near Cobb's Hill. And while we were there, walking around, the little 6-year-old was on a bicycle path, and she turned her bicycle and went down a hill right into Cobb's Hill Lake, almost. The bicycle big wheels stuck into the mud, thank goodness. And I ran down the hill and pulled her back up again, and we went back home fast. After that, my homesickness just left. I had to just forget about myself for just a couple of seconds as I thought she was going in the water. My homesickness left, and I was never homesick after that. The first time that I went back to my home where my father and mother lived, I was to come back on New Year's Eve so that I could sit with the children that were there while the parents went out to a party. In the meantime, we had a big snowstorm, and I could not get out of my country home. So the next morning, I went back on the train, and I called the lady where I was staying to explain to her why I could not get home in time to take care of her children the night before. And she was very, very angry with me. So after that little discussion, the RBI placed me in another home, which was at a doctor's home on South Goodman Street. They had just one little boy that I was to look after. That was an interesting place that I went to live because the people were Jewish, and me in my country, bringing up, did not know too much how they lived, what I noticed was that their food was so different. And I didn't eat right with them. I ate in the kitchen and they ate in their dining room. I did do the cooking for them, but it was just such an unusual situation that I didn't really eat that much. The food was so different, but I didn't get enough to eat. So I would buy some cookies myself and take them up to my bedroom and have cookies at night, which I wasn't supposed to do. I was not to take food into my bedroom.
Catherine, are you in there?
Oh, how good they tasted. I was so hungry. After eating sour cream, which was their main staff of life, I guess, the cookies just tasted so good.
Hey, you're not eating in there, are you?
After I graduated from the RBI, I didn't realize the condition that was going on in my parents' farm, that they were struggling to make the payments and were not producing enough to make the payments, that they were going to have to lose the farm. I got a job at a doctor's office, not too far from where I lived. I could walk to work each day. I learned a lot at the doctor's office, because he wanted help sometimes with doing some tests and things, so he was teaching me how to do tests and looking at the microscope, and find blood cells and find different things that I wasn't familiar with, of course, but I did learn a lot of things working for the doctor. I did not get out of there sometimes until after 10 o'clock at night, and I would walk home to my apartment. I was never scared or feared anybody hurting or anything, but I'm sure I would not do that today. When I started working there, I think I got $18 a week, and I finally did get up to $21 a week after I was there probably a year or so. I rented a room, which was right close to the church that I was attending, and I paid $3.50 a week for one room and the use of a kitchen. I stayed there until I got sick, and I went to stay with my friend from church until I got better. And when I came home, the landlord had put all my things out on the porch. In the meantime, I was in church, and they had a youth group at church for which they invited me to attend. And while there, I met a man by the name of Freddie Pulse.
There was a girl of the Finger Lakes, and she grew up on a farm. There were hard times in America, but still she found some way with the love of her family and a faith in God above. She did her chores joyfully, although the chickens were not her friends. Well, they sold their crops and they ate what they could not, prepared their food with joy and they savored every crumb. There was a girl of the Finger Lakes, and she grew up on a farm. There were hard times in America, but still she found some way. She walked to school every day. In that one room she learned her ABCs. Only a baked potato for her lunch, but it warmed her to the core. On Sunday she'd sing her praise to Jesus for everything they had. It might not seem like much when love is all you've got, but gold will never feed your soul. It might not seem like much when love is all you've got, but gold will never feed